Good morning. You're listening to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Howard Brodsky, who's Chairman and Co-CEO of CCA Global. Howard, how you doing?
Very good, thank you.
Good to be with you. I saw you briefly last week at the 10th Annual Alan Greenberg Charity Golf Tournament. That's what I wanted to talk to you about today. You had a good turnout, didn't you?
We had a full turnout. We had, I think, 142 participants and golfers that day.
One of the neat things about this tournament is who comes. It really does bring the senior level people from most of the suppliers in this industry, doesn't it?
It really does. We're very fortunate that I would say in most cases we have the CEO, the senior vice presidents. It's really the chief executive officers of most companies in the entire industry that come to the day's event.
Yeah, actually, I saw Jeff Lorberbaum there, and people were joking that for somebody who has such a busy schedule, he has a pretty good golf score, doesn't he?
He is very good. I can tell you, it's much better than mine, which is not hard.
Yeah. Well, we're all busy, and everybody knows when you play golf, if you don't play enough, the game goes into the ditch.
Right.
All right, so you had a great turnout. Again, as I said, it's the 10th annual, and you named this after your co-founder of CCA, Alan Greenberg. This was one of his passions, wasn't it?
I think two things. I think Alan had a passion for golf. Absolutely, that was his extracurricular activity that he really loved. Mm-hmm. And more than that, he had a real true commitment for the Floor Covering Industry Foundation that gives back money to those in need in our industry that are really going through catastrophic events of their personal lives, whether it be cancer, heart, or strokes. And it's a time in their lives when they really need help, and Alan was very committed to it. So when he passed away, we named the golf tournament after him, and I think he would really enjoy that to this day.
So you earned $140,000, but when you add it all up over 10 years, it's $1.35 million that you've contributed to the FCIF, right?
Yeah, no, it's an incredible amount, and it's done so much good for so many people. And I was there with somebody last week when we had the tournament, and they said, I've been in golf tournaments, and they said usually a great golf tournament raises $25,000 or $30,000 or $35,000, but our net proceeds, that's after everything, was $140,000 back. And as you said, Kemp, over the 10 years we've raised over $1.35 million, and that's 100% going. Nothing comes out of that. 100% of that goes to help people in our industry, and whether it's retail stores, manufacturing, wholesalers, reps, anybody that's been in our industry, this fund is there to help them during catastrophic times.
Right, and you're hands-on with this. You were there. You actually played golf. You and Charlie Dilks and Paula, I think, are the ones that really put the thing together. They deserve credit also. And when you stood at the microphone there before you awarded the prizes to the winners in the foursomes and the drawing and such, you read a couple of letters, and I think you picked just a few of many you get back of people who really benefit from the FCIF, right?
Yeah, no, it's really touched so many lives, and these are people that had nowhere else to turn. They've been in the industry, some people for 10, 15, 20 years, and have been stricken with, really catastrophic diseases that not only affects their ability to get health care, but also that they obviously have to stop working, and affects their entire family. So it's really been instrumental, and I think in really helping these people through very, very difficult times in their life. And when we get back the letters, it's very heartwarming.
Some people may wonder, the FCIF has been around for a while. It's managed by the staff of the WFCA, the World Floor Covering Association, and then CCA puts this tournament on. How did CCA get involved?
Well, Alan and I became co-vice chairs about 10 years ago, and became involved in it, and we really felt there was a need to raise more money, more awareness and more money, and that the golf tournament would be a great way to get both the recognition and get the suppliers involved, and to put more money back into the charity than it's ever been put into it. So it was a win-win. It gave us a day to meet with our key suppliers and have a wonderful companionship for the day, and also do a wonderful event for the industry and raise money for those in need. And I think, beside from the Actors Fund and Guild that does and gives money back to their industry, Floor Covering Industry Foundation is one of the other few funds that is raised solely to give money back for those people in a singular industry.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you pointed that out. I mean, the floor covering industry, it's led in the area of sustainability, but it also leads in this area of taking care of our own. As you mentioned, I think we've said several times that this FCIF fund is very similar to the Screen Actors Guild fund, where it's set up in a similar way where we raise money to take care of the people in our industry.
It really is. And as I said, it's done an amazing job to a lot of people over many years that has really helped change their lives.
Mm-hmm. You know, I rarely get a chance to talk to you, and most people know that CCA Global represents well over 2,000 points of distribution for floor covering. You're the leading buying group in the industry. Tell us what you're seeing out there, what you're hearing from your members.
Well, I think as a company gaining share in the industry,
mm-hmm.
but it's still spotty out there. And I think until the election's over, I think there's a lot of negativity that happens because of the election,
right.
of each side saying how terrible things are.
Yeah.
And so I think the consumer is a little hesitant. Now, the good news is that we just saw the housing report came back, the strongest come back in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's some enormous pent-up demand. And I think once we have a streak where people can feel good about where they are, that we will see a significant bounce. But I think it's been, I would say, steady, not booming, but a steady business climate.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like the GDP numbers, doesn't it? Just up like 1.7 or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's growing, but not leaps and bounds, but it's growing. And I think, you know, opposed to 3-4 years ago where nobody knew where the base was, I think there's a base and growing, and you can run your business knowing where you are.
Some people have said, not that I want to get into a political conversation, but some people have said that regardless of who wins as president, we feel like that we're well on a way of recovery and could see a nice little bump at the end of the election time, couldn't we?
I think that's true. And I think usually what happens, no matter which one wins,
mm-hmm.
is that there'll be, I think at least in the first year, more of a willingness of both parties to work together to try to resolve some of the issues which will move the economy forward.
Okay, Howard, it's great to talk to you again. Good to see you last week at the 10th Annual Alan Greenberg Charity Golf Tournament, which raises funds for the Floor Covering Industry Foundation. We've been talking to Howard Brodsky, who's chairman and co-CEO of CCA Global, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.